Hi guys, today's review is going to be on the Revlon Colorstay, and I am going to be telling you about the two different formulas that they have, and I actually have two different colors. So we're going to start out. This is the Revlon Colorstay, and this is in the normal to dry, and this is in the color buff. So as you can see, online it looks really light, and I apologize that it's basically gloomy, and it's been gloomy almost every day on Cape Cod, so it's extremely hard for me to try to film a video when it's sunny, because when it is sunny, then that's when I kind of run out and do everything I need to do. So hopefully you guys can see that this is the color, and it says 24 hours. This does come with a pump, which before they never used to have a pump, so that's nice. I know a lot of people like the pump. And this one does have an SPF of 20. So this is the Revlon Colorstay, and this is in the combination oily, and this is in the color 110 Ivory. So let me show you that one. It's the same thing, same SPF, 24-hour wear. And as you can see, two different tones on that. I normally wear the ivory. That's my match. That's my perfect color. Today, however, I have on the buff, just because I am testing out the dry formula, because sometimes my skin does get a little bit dry in the winter, so I thought maybe I would try switching over. They did not have the ivory, and I have always kind of looked at the buff and kind of wondered if that would be a better match, if I would like the color better, but I have it on today and it's a little bit too dark, which you might not be able to tell on the actual video, but it is slightly too dark for my skin tone, and this one, the ivory, is actually a better match. So let me start by showing you a couple of swatches. So this is, let me do it here. I'm going to do this side by side so you can get an idea of how different the colors are. The buff, by the way, is more of a yellow beige tone, and the ivory has more of a pink tone. Even though you kind of almost can't tell by looking at them like this. Even I'm having a very hard time telling, but you can kind of tell. So this side is the buff, and this side is the ivory. So as you can tell, it's pretty close, but you can see that this one has more beige tone and that one definitely has more pink. Now this is the Giorgio Armani. Everyone knows this foundation. This is the Luminous Silk Foundation. This is in the lightest shade number 2. This is a perfect match with the Colorstay buff, because they're both yellow toned, slightly beigey. There is no pink in the buff or in the number 2 on the Giorgio Armani. So let me put that one next to, there's that one, there's the Giorgio Armani. Now the real strange thing, if you look at it on the swatch, it actually looks like it's a better match for the ivory. And that's what it looks like when you swatch them all. But trust me, ladies, when I say that it is a better match for the buff. I have noticed with the Giorgio Armani that whenever something says neutral, or even if it says it's pink, it's yellow. They just got this thing with yellow, yellow, yellow. I love this foundation, but I can pull off this shade, but it's really not my best match. That's why I do not wear this very often. Now, why did I bring this into the mix? Because when I say that these two are a match in color, they're a match in everything. This is basically the drugstore version of this. So if you wear the buff or you wear the number 2 in the Luminous Silk, these are the same. When I put this one on this morning, the feel of it is the same, the texture is the same, it goes on your skin the same. The coverage is slightly better with the Colorstay than the Luminous Silk, so this actually has a 1-up on the more expensive one. But these are exactly the same, so if you like the feel, the texture, the coverage, and the way that this feels on your skin, then you can basically go to the drugstore and buy the Revlon Colorstay in the buff in the normal to dry formula. So again, these two, great alternative if you don't want to spend the money on this one, or you don't have anywhere to buy this and you don't want to buy online. This is a great alternative. So now getting to the one that I normally wear. This is the Revlon Combination Oily. I don't know why that word just sounded like it came out really weird. So if it did, don't mind me. Anyway, this is the 110 Ivory. And this is great in the spring and summer. Again, normally I would wear this all year long. I was just kind of testing out the other one because my skin got a little more dry this year. But the textures on the two are not the same. At least not in my opinion. I have seen some reviews that said they're very similar, and I just personally disagree with that, at least on my skin. Whereas the Combination Dry is very thick. It feels moisturizing. You can literally feel it on your skin when you put the dry formula on. For me, with the Combination Oily, it's a little more of a lighter texture, and I think that's because it's absorbing oil, of course. So for me, this is more smooth, it's more silky. I feel like it kind of absorbs a little bit better and sits a little bit better on my skin than the other formula. So I do totally prefer this one. And if you're really fair-skinned and you have a pink undertone, then you know how hard it is to find a foundation that actually works and has the right amount of pink, and they leave out the yellow. This is it. So if you're light, have combination to oily skin, this is great. If you have really dry skin, I would probably maybe stay away from this one. You can try it because you never know, because it does say combination on it, but it is going to absorb oil. And again, if you are a Giorgio Armani fan and you have dry skin, then this normal to dry in the buff is a perfect match for the Luminous Silk in number 2. So as far as lasting power with both of these formula, I know they say 24 hours. They don't last 24 hours. I really haven't found a foundation that has actually lasted all day, that never transfers. I don't know if that actually truly exists. There are some that last longer than others, but I mean, really at the end of the day, if you're going to, you know, even have any slight bit of oil on your face, which even dry skin girls do, usually you need a touch up, you need a powder, so they don't last 24 hours. Do they last a full day? For me, I always have to touch up by maybe sometime after lunch. So if I put this on at like 7:30 in the morning, I would have to say maybe by 2-3 o'clock I might have to kind of touch up a little bit in the T-zone area. So this is not going to be something you're going to put on, walk out the door, and then come back home at night and it's going to look, you know, fabulous. I would kind of make sure that you either blot it with some tissue to absorb the oil or have some powder with you handy. All in all, though, I've been using this for years. It's great. I do try other foundations just because I'm always looking for something that might work better for my skin. But this is always, always a great fallback. So if you use any one of these foundations, let me know in the comments below what color you use and which formula you use, and I will see you guys all again in my next review.